Hey, Stan Shields here, back with another speaker spotlight. Today, we've got two new speakers that we want to share with you for Network Las Vegas. So don't go anywhere, hang tight, and we're going to come right back and talk with these speakers. All right, here we are. We're back again. Stan Shields here, and this is Joe Iovinitti. Did I say it right? Iovinitti, or is it Iovinitti?
Either way.
Either way. Okay, you liked both of them. All right. And of course, my buddy Sandra Sutter. I say her name Sandra. She always says, it's Sandra, but you can call me Sandra. It works either way. So how are you guys doing today?
Very well.
Yes.
Good. Good. I'm glad both of them are flexible with their name so that if I mess it up, then they're not going to get too upset with me. So let's talk a little bit about, well, before we dive into what you guys are going to share in your conversations, let's just give the viewers a quick idea of what this is. This is Network Las Vegas. And if you need more info, go to networklasvegas.com. It's up here at the top of the screen. Let me get my picture right so I can point in the right direction here, right? networklasvegas.com. We're a networking organization based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, both of our speakers today are not in Nevada. They're from other parts of the country, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But come and join us. We meet on the monthly on the first and third Wednesday of the month. And we usually will have one or two speakers at each meeting. And that's why we're doing the spotlight today of our two speakers so that you learn a little bit more about them. You get a chance to hear a little more about them, more than you would in a 60-second commercial in one of the meetings. So let's just take a second here and go through, and let's have ladies first. Sandra, take a minute and take a 60-second and just introduce who you are. Excuse me.
Great. Thank you, Stan. I'm Sandra Sutter, and I am based in Scottsdale, Arizona. I am an executive wine consultant with Scout and Cellar. Scout and Cellar is a winery, officially a winery, and we sell clean crafted wine. It is grown organically, has no synthetic pesticides, no additives, no chemicals. It is no added sugar. It is basically grapes to glass. So a fantastic product. So that's me. Thank you.
Had myself muted. Love it. Grapes to glass. That's one of my favorite phrases that she uses with the wine business. So Joe, tell everybody a little bit more about who you are and what you do. Again, do the 60-second thing, and then we're going to come back and dive into more detail.
I'm Joe Iovinitti, and I'm an asset protection consultant out of Walnut Creek, California, which is 30 miles east of San Francisco. I help business owners increase their cash flow. I make them more profitable. I could also defer the payment of capital gains tax at the time of the sale, and I could convert debt to wealth. Recently, I joined some colleagues, and we've been able to work with a private equity firm where we could offer a 4 times line of credit for commercial projects at 3.5%. Those are 3 of my 4 pillars in my business. I love talking to you more about it later.
Cool. We'll come back and talk some more about those pillars in just a second here. So we're gonna stick with ladies first here, and we're gonna go back to Sandra. Sandra, talk a little bit more. You've been with Scout and Cellar, right? Not Scout and Stellar. Scout and Cellar. You've been with them for how long now? And what made you get started with them?
Yeah, so I was a customer first, and I've been a customer for almost 2 years. I really loved their product, and because of some health reasons, really was being very cautious about what I was putting in my body as far as food and beverages. And so I really loved their wine and appreciated the clean crafted goodness of it. And then I became a wine club member, so you can you can buy a la carte wine. You can also be a wine club member and have access to other special wines and special promotions that they do. And then after about 6 months, I decided to join as a wine consultant. So I am also now growing my team, and that's been a really, really fun journey. So I officially joined October 1st of last year. So I've been with them as a consultant for a little over 1 year now. So it's been a really fabulous journey, and the company is 4 years old. So I'm still considered kind of on the new end because we're such a new company.
That's pretty amazing. So now you've been with them for a year. What did you do before you were a wine consultant?
So before I was a wine consultant, I was in human resources for much of my career in financial services. And I had the privilege really of managing some international teams. So I lived in both Hong Kong and I lived in London for, say, the last 8 years of my career before I retired.
And so has wine always been a part of your life?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I visited 36 countries, and I'm pretty sure I've had a glass of wine in every single one of those countries.
That's awesome. Only a glass? Did you ever visit any of the wineries or any of that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I love to visit wineries. I also love to visit other kind of tap houses or distilleries. My husband is a huge gin guy, so we often find our way to learning how gin is made and visiting places, especially in Europe, in Scotland and London. There's a lot of excellent gin as well as wine.
Huh. Interesting. Good. So I didn't realize that I knew that you were in HR, but I didn't realize that that it was really a lot of international
Yes.
involved in it. That's pretty good. So Joe, tell us a little bit more with yours, with the work that you do, with asset protection and so forth. You said there's 4 pillars to your business. And so maybe take a minute. Well, first of all, are you a wine drinker?
Yes, I am.
You are? What's your favorite? Is it reds or whites?
Reds.
Reds. Okay, that's my favorites too.
And
So
I like
that's
the
cool.
lows.
There you go. Good. Well, and I'll tell you, I have tried Sandra's wine, and it is good. But the thing that I love the most is the grapes to glass, because of how healthy it is with no preservatives and all of that kind of stuff in it, right? So anyway, it'd be cool. You guys should talk more later. But so talk about those 4 pillars a little bit more. Get into a little bit of detail with that, and maybe even give some examples, if you can, of what is it that a business owner would need to, what are the triggers? What are the keys? What are the things for them to look at to say, hey, wait, this guy Joe might be able to help me out?
Well, let's talk about the business owner's cost savings.
Okay.
I work with 13 major cost saving approaches that involve specialized tax incentives. And examples of those are cost segregation, which is accelerated depreciation of commercial property, R&D tax credits. If you're doing something technical, you're doing something new, you're making a product better, less expensive, more durable, you most likely will qualify. And hiring incentives. You're aware that you may be able to get a tax credit for the people that you hire, as well as if your business has been impacted by COVID, you may qualify for a tax incentive there under the employee retention tax credit. We also do business expense mitigation, which involves audits of select business vendors like your credit card merchant, work comp insurance carrier, and property tax records for commercial property owners. The incentive for business owners to look at these cost-saving approaches is just, as I said, to make them more profitable. 10 of the 13 cost-saving approaches that I mentioned are provided at no out-of-pocket cost and no risk to the business owner. We accomplish that by sharing in a percentage of the cost savings generated, and if we don't generate cost savings, we're not reimbursed. 3 of the cost savings do involve a nominal subscription fee, because we set up a management system where the business owner for example, could upload as many resumes as they like for people they're interviewing for a job. And we would tell them which of the candidates they're interviewing will bring a tax credit to the business. And they could submit as many as they like, up to the tier that they've been placed in based on the annual number of employees that they hire. I work with small and medium-sized businesses with a sweet spot between 5 and 750 employees. I even been able to help a company of one where they did an extensive mail order business in excess of $500,000, and they happen to own their own building. I was able to add north of $150,000 to their bottom line last year.
That's pretty impressive. So first of all, a company of one doing that kind of volume, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, an impressive business.
You don't see that very often. So the tax credits, and then for employers, what does that do? Is that I guess the first question that pops into mind is that even legal, of now making a hiring decision based off of whether they can get a tax credit, or I don't know, but is that
all the things I discussed are legal? They're in the tax code. The respective states within the United States all recognize it. Mm-hmm. And one should not be concerned on whether or not it's legal, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, right. Very good. Very good. Well, that's interesting stuff. So now both of you are going to be doing a presentation today. So I don't want you to go into the presentation itself, but just a quick little highlight of, what kinds of things do you think you're going to cover in the presentation today? Sandra, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay, so I am going to just cover the overall premise, or the work that we're doing at Scout and Cellar, talk a little bit about the wine and what clean crafted means. I also will be showing a brief video clip from our founder, Sarah Shadniks. She's super passionate about what she does, and it really comes through in this quick clip. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is talk a little bit about our holiday specials, because with this gift giving time of the year, whether it's Hanukkah or Thanksgiving or Christmas or Kwanzaa, people are looking for gifts, and wine, of course, is a lovely gift, especially when it's clean crafted and you're giving something, full of goodness as a gift. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about our holiday promotions. Okay,
great. And you have a special consultation with people. If people are interested, and I'm going to let you tell them what this is, because I get the name wrong every time. So yeah, well, what is this special thing and how would people reach out to you for it?
Sure. So one of the things that I have really enjoyed about sharing the wine is, and I do a lot of wine tastings. So it might be with groups, it might be, a company that hires me to do some team building, or I might be doing it with friends, but whatever, I always want to serve food with the wine I'm pouring to make sure that people are, having food in their stomach if they're having wine. And it's such a nice pairing. So what we used to in the old fashioned days, growing up, called a meat and cheese platter is now called a charcuterie board. And so I have really enjoyed making charcuterie boards. And actually, I don't always make them on a board. Sometimes I make them in individual canning jars. So everything is standing straight up, and you're, putting cheese and meats and breads on spikes so that they're standing up out of the jar on really cool sticks. So anyway, it's very, very fun. And people are now doing charcuterie boards with everything under the sun. It's not just meat, cheese, nuts, fruits, and breads and olives. It's sometimes candy or fruits or other things. So charcuteries are really becoming very, very popular. And I'm happy to share with people pictures of what I've done and help them build a charcuterie board for entertaining as well.
All right. Awesome. Amazing. Can you say that, Joe? Charcuterie? Is that what you said? You called it?
Charcuterie.
Yeah. All right. Good. He's good.
I think, Stan, you're the only one.
I know, right? It's taken me all of these meetings of hearing it like 3 or 4 times to say, what is that thing called again? So Joe, tell us a little bit more about, what you're going to talk about in the presentation. And if you have any special call to action, like for instance, if business owners can get if there's a free consultation or anything like that to learn more about how you might be able to help them.
Sure. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about my background and how I got to create Iovinitti Asset Protection Consultants, and then dive into the 13 different major programs that we have where we could increase a business owner's profit, go into a description of what that is, and more importantly, presenting an average number of what you could expect if this particular cost-saving approach would apply to you. And then at the end, I'm going to go through one of the websites that we use where we could evaluate 6 of the specialized tax incentives in less than 60 seconds for a business owner to give a quick feel for how this business will run and how you could determine whether or not it makes any sense for you to go through the process.
Amazing. That's awesome. 60 seconds, huh? So 60 seconds to save a lot of money. So that's good.
And I'll ask you to time me.
Ask me to time you. All right, perfect. So, all right, good job. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you in a few minutes in our meeting, but we're going to end our broadcast today so that we've got time to go and get ready for the next meeting. Any final words before we sign off?
Cheers.
Cheers. There you go. I love it. Awesome.
I'd like to welcome everyone to attend Network Las Vegas because it's a great group of people. We give you exposure to a whole new market, and it's a fun group to work with.
Perfect. Love it. Thank you so much. And once again, to find us, I have to figure out which way to point still, right? So networklasvegas.com is up at the top of your screen. Go check it out. Come join us. You can register right from that site to come join us for a meeting. And it's not too late to join us for today's meeting if you happen to catch this before 11:30 today. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again, both Joe and Sandra for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.